being from northern Norway, I definitely, got a bit of a oomph to me.
Yeah.
So it came to a point where I felt like sitting on stage and just like kind of picking on my guitar. It didn't really give me that release, or it didn't give me that release that I wanted. Yeah.
Hi, today I'm here with Dagny.
Hey, how are you?
So you were born like super north, right, in Tromsø?
Yeah, that's right. All the way up in northern Norway, far away from here, for sure.
How's the environment like for people who haven't been there?
So I'm from a small town. It's about 80,000 people there. It's a beautiful city that's on an island, and it's surrounded by water, and then surrounded by a mountain outside of that.
Yeah.
And it's just the most incredible place. I think for someone who's grown up there, I still have moments of like, wow. But then when I bring people to my city, then I see it even more.
Wow.
It's really something else. Yeah.
Is there some like main industry there? Like what did your parents grow up there? Like what made them move there or live there?
I would say, Tromsø is the biggest city in northern Norway.
Yeah.
So I think it's a natural place for a lot of people to move to if they want to stay in northern Norway. And it's got a lot of culture. It's a really interesting place. It's got a lot of people that are really wanting to make things happen. And obviously you have fishing is a big part of the industry, and a lot of tourism now with the Northern Lights and midnight sun and stuff. So yeah.
But your parents are like jazz musicians, right?
That's right.
What did like Tromsø have like a big like music kind of area there? Like what made why Tromsø for them?
I think they wanted to stay in northern Norway. I mean, it's just got such a beautiful nature, and my parents are musicians, but they also love, spending time outdoors and that. So they wanted to stay in northern Norway, and as I mentioned, it's actually a really cultural city. And even though in general I would say that, the jazz, what's it called? Like the scene for jazz is obviously quite small and intimate, but there's a lot of all kinds of music going on there. So I think it was just a natural thing for them to go there. And I lived there up until I was 21 and played lots of shows and stuff there before I kind of moved to London. Yeah.
How would you describe yourself growing up?
How would I describe myself?
Yeah.
Energetic. Very I had so many hobbies. Like I did everything. Yeah, I really did. Everything
sports
from
also?
Sports. I used to be a keeper for football keeper for 9 years.
Oh wow!
And I was pretty serious about it. And I played tennis, and I played. I was in general just a very active child. And I also played musically. I played violin and piano and. I really wanted to do everything all at once, and it's kind of a little bit like I am still, I guess. But yeah, and I was pretty happy and very happy child. Yeah.
Were you into school?
I wouldn't say that I wasn't into school, but because I was so busy being so active with everything else, I think that I never really probably focused as much on school as I should have. I don't know. I enjoyed school. I just enjoyed everything else as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were your favorite subjects? Were they all art subjects, or were you into other?
When I was a little older, I enjoyed. We had a weird class called Antikkens kultur. It's like the kind of culture of Greek mythology and a lot of these things.
That's really cool.
I really enjoy that. Other than that, I definitely enjoyed the more crafty classes. Like when I was in primary school, we had sewing and craft, when you have to make little furniture and stuff like that, and I really enjoy that.
And when you were younger, you wanted to be like an astronaut or something,
That's
right?
right.
What?
I probably should have paid more attention to school if I was going to be an astronaut, but
What about it fascinated you?
I was so into space. I remember getting a book from my parents one year where it was like 1,000 questions about questions and answers about space, and I would just read it over and over. And I don't know, I guess it was like a fascination of something that's so much bigger than us. And I think I was quite like, as a child, I also had like a lot of big thoughts and a lot of big questions, and so I don't know, I guess that was part of the what made me so fascinated with space. But yeah, so I wanted to be an astronaut. I also wanted to be an archaeologist.
Oh,
so
that's really cool.
I think in general I liked everything that I couldn't really answer myself.
Yeah, I love that. And then you got super into like the Spice Girls, right? Like, what about them did you like feel such an attachment to?
I guess, you know, it was the whole girl power. 5 strong female figures with super catchy music, and I even have to say, up until today, like going back and listening to their records, it's like it was good stuff, you know. Like it was a lot of rhythm and a lot of words, and it wasn't just like generic, boring music. So I actually still, up till this day, can understand the fascination with Spice Girls, even though at the time I was maybe 9 or 8 or 9. I wasn't very old.
Do you remember who introduced you to them?
No, I don't actually. But I remember like having like all the girl groups would have a meetup where, you know, you would dance with this, you would do all their dances and do all their songs and stuff, and everyone got like their own character. So I used to be Mel B, and my sister always used to be Emma, and everyone was so jealous because everyone wanted to be Emma. Except for me, I actually really wanted to be Mel B, so...
Oh, that's so cute. And then, soon after that, you were into like Eva Cassidy and stuff, right?
Yeah,
and then
that
you got a guitar and stuff.
That's right. So, my dad is a guitarist and my mom's a singer, so I guess it was a mix.
Oh, so they were a duo?
Yeah, they
oh
do
my
a lot of stuff
god,
together,
that is so sweet. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. And then, I guess once I discovered Eva Cassidy, I remember seeing like a live concert of her on TV around Christmas, and that was it. I was obsessed, and that Christmas I got her records for as my present for Christmas. And I would listen to them again and again, and that's when I really started kind of discovering, you know, this dream of becoming a songwriter. And that's when I really kind of, the idea of being a songwriter and going out and playing the songs on the guitar by myself, it was suddenly all I wanted to do.
Wow. Did you have like people other than your parents around you do that, or like how did you get that kind of confidence that like I want to make it, I can make it?
I think that came kind of later. To begin with, it was only the craft of it that really intrigued me, and I that feeling you get when you finish a song, and that was really what kind of drove me to want to do music. But obviously, growing up, my parents always had musicians coming and going in the house, and rehearsals in their living room, and people staying over, and tours and all that stuff. So it wasn't like there was a lot of music around me, I guess. Yeah. But
what was their duo name actually?
Huh?
What was their name?
What's my parents' name?
Did they have a duo name?
Oh yeah, they have. Well, they just use their own names when they do a duo. But they had a jazz group, and they had like a Brazilian like bossa nova group. And
do you remember the names? Are they online?
Yeah, they'll be online for sure.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I'll give you some links to check it out.
So cool. Yeah. And then, so was it 21 when you moved to London?
I was 21.
How did you get like the confidence, and why did you choose London?
I think like I just naturally am quite adventurous, and so when I wanted to make a move, which I did at the age of 21, and I'd been traveling a lot for the last few years, and I spent some time in London and stuff. So I don't know. The idea came about to go to London, and I just did it. And I didn't really know anyone, and I didn't really have anything there, but that was part of the excitement.
Yeah, I read in previous interviews that it was like you didn't know anyone, and then like suddenly had your own schedule, you had to like make your own connections.
Yeah, it was tricky the first period. Like it was hard, but it was also, I feel looking back, it's been such a big, important reason to why I'm doing what I do now and how I kind of ended up here, I guess. Because before I moved to London, even though I was very motivated to do music and stuff, I didn't really know anything about how to make things happen so much on my own and stuff. So I learned a lot moving to London.
Yeah.
And seeing how many incredible musicians are out there and people that work so hard to make things happen.
Yeah.
So it was really inspiring for me to be in London.
When you moved there, were you like a folk singer, or was that like way before?
No, that was around that time.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had like a period of like playing the ukulele, and we were like
also under the same name, Dagny.
Yeah.
Also, people, it's still online then, right?
I'm not sure.
Deleted it all.
Don't look for it.
And then what made you like really want to change into pop?
I think that you know, going back to what I said about being quite an energetic person, and I guess I'm quite like, being from northern Norway, I definitely, you know, got a bit of a oomph to me.
Yeah.
So it came to a point where I felt like sitting on stage and just like kind of picking on my guitar. It didn't really give me that release, or it didn't give me that that release that I wanted. Yeah. And the music didn't really feel like me anymore, and so going over to a more punchier sound and a bigger sound and a sound that makes me want to, you know, jump around on stage and like wave my arms around. That kind of felt more like me. And so once I started experimenting more with that, I felt like a lot of things kind of came together, I guess. And for the first time, I really felt like I was doing a style of music that was exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah,
that's really cool. And then, but then after some time in London, you applied to some universities back home, right?
I did. Yeah, you really done your homework.
What was going through your mind during that time?
I think that I got to a point in London where I'd been living there for a while, and again, you know, starting to make things happen, definitely. But I was just coming to a point where I felt like it wasn't moving forward, and I felt like I wasn't sure how to challenge myself anymore to you know, to really make the most out of everything. And I don't know, I guess I got a bit like, I wouldn't use the word lost, but like a mixture of maybe a little lost and a little bored, and just I didn't really know how to progress. So I just decided, okay, time to do something else. I really think that if you get too stuck in a pattern, you have to kind of try and tear yourself out of it a little bit. So that was the kind of idea behind that.
What did you apply to study?
A music management. So I didn't get that far away from it. But I ended up actually doing 6 months doing another class. I did like media design.
In London?
No, that was in Norway, but it was over like internet. But it was actually my parents who sat me down and was just like, you know what, Dagny, you should stay in London, keep working on your music and keep like pushing. And so I thought that was a really cool thing for a parent to do, like, you know, to encourage your child to maybe do something that's quite an unpredictable route and quite a tricky route. So that really pushed me to just be like, you know what, if they believe that I can do this so much, then I'm gonna believe that much too. And then 2 months later, Backbeat came out.
That's how I found you. Like, when I was living in Hawking, like, oh my god, that song's amazing.
Thank you.
And then, what was it like, kind of? Because you're like doing music for pretty much like 5 years, and all of a sudden one song is a hit, you got like instant fame. Like, how did you like process that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I do think that, like, because we'd you know, at that point when Backbeat came out, we played hundreds and hundreds of shows.
Yeah.
We've written hundreds of songs, and you know, you really, having gone, you know, done all of these things and worked for so many years, you feel more like assured, I guess, of yourself, and you've learned a lot of things, and I think that's all like a benefit. Like that's, by the time Backbeat came out, I felt like we were kind of ready for something to happen and prepared for it. So
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just been a really positive, like, it's been a really positive time after that happened, and it's been super exciting, and I feel like for the first time I've really gotten to like live and work as hard as I like I've always dreamt about, and traveling and playing shows and writing music and working with amazing people, and so it's been really exciting since we released Backbeat. Yeah.
And what was your reaction when the whole like Zane Lowe thing happened?
It was pretty mental. It was good. I just remember sitting with my friends, and we had like a bottle of Prosecco and like Coronas, and everyone was just like, yeah, when they played the song.
Oh my god.
That was a really good moment.
Yeah.
And I'm a massive fan of him, and it was surreal, you know, the way that people just kind of picked up the song and it just started living its own life. Like once we released it, we didn't know what to do. Like we didn't have any plan, and then people just enjoyed the song and connected with it. So it kind of took on its own life. So it was really fun. It kind of felt like I was standing on the outside just watching this thing happen and like just seeing it doing its own thing. So it was, it was really cool.
And then kind of soon after you signed to like a record label, did you ever feel like you were too early to sign on because you had like one song? Were you ever like afraid that like they didn't totally understand your vision yet? Because it was a bit early on when you signed them, like on your like current songs that you put out.
Absolutely, it was, and it was actually quite, even though we'd written a lot and played stuff, it was quite early on, as you said, within this kind of sound. That we had this more punchier pop, band-driven sound. So, but no, I think it's important, like who you pick for your team, because they're going to be the people that like help you make your vision come true. And like, but I felt like, you know, with Republic, it was, you know, the team that we have there. It's just been a really great like connection, and I think they allow me to like still experiment and you know, get inspired by different things and kind of figure things out with their help also on my own. So I think, you know, you just gotta always stick to your gut and not be scared to like stand up for what you think is right and what you want. And so no, it's been really good.
You opened for like Elton John, right? What is it like actually to open to such an older audience when a lot of your previous audiences have been a lot younger?
I think it was good. I think we actually find that, like, I find that my music seemed to reach out to quite a wide range and a wide age difference. And back home in Norway, our audience is definitely a little more grown up. So that was good, and for us it was cool to like witness this guy, this legend. I would say.
That's crazy that you were able to do that. Like, congrats, damn.
Yeah, and like, you know, seeing him being on stage is like, he's been doing this for decades, but he still goes up there and he gives it large every night for hours. And so that's really cool. You know, for someone who's kind of starting out like we are, it's just like, you just hope that in 30 years you'll be like, you'll be an Elton up there. You know?
What would you say have been your biggest struggle so far?
My biggest struggle so far, I think the biggest struggle is actually, I think that there's this like idea that when you work as a creative, it's like you can only work when you're super inspired and super like, okay, now I'm having a moment of inspiration, let's make some magical music happen. It's not really like that. I think, you know, you have to get up every day and write, even when you're not really sure, you know, what you're writing. I think songwriting and music is like a craft, right? And it's something that you have to keep working at and keep training at and keep developing. And I think like every morning you should like get up and try and write a few lines or play some chords, and you know, always keep it up. And for me, it was like in the beginning, I would write so many songs and I would just write and write and write. And I would get to a point where I'm like, I'm pretty sure I've written this song before, probably once or twice or 3 times. So that's like, you know, constantly keeping it fresh and finding new ways of writing and stuff. That's, I wouldn't say it's a struggle. It's like not a struggle at all, but it's like a challenge.
Yeah,
it's a good challenge.
And you mentioned in your previous interviews like fear of death or something, and or something about your brother had cancer when he was like 15.
Yeah, you know, most families probably at some point go through stuff that it's not easy, and as a musician, as a songwriter, I think that like you always want to be honest in your music, but I also find that there's like a balance to like finding that balance of being honest and telling stories that are true, but also not feeling like you're putting someone else's story out there, like without necessarily them wanting that. It's like, I think my brother getting sick definitely changed a lot of how I view life, and from a very early on we had to deal with stuff that was, you know, very big things that from a very young age. And I think that it's definitely it was a tough time, but I feel like we came out having made some thoughts and having gone through something that makes us, however cliche it sounds, but it makes you stronger and more aware of life, you know. It sounds stupid, but really it is like that. So yeah, I really, again, another cliche, but I really do try and make the most out of every day, and I really try and live my life the way that I want to live it, without constantly necessarily worrying about what people or the society expect, what kind of life they expect you to live. Like, I'm a musician, like I'm touring right now in the US, and I'm 27 and I don't have an education, and I don't have a family, I don't have like my own family, and I don't have a house or a car, all these things that I think a lot of people feel like when you're my age you should start to get these things in order. But that's not what I want to do. Yeah. So I figured I have this one life and I got to do what I want to do. Or live it the way that I feel is my way of living it. Yeah.
Last question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Being kind.
Yeah. I love that. Thank you so much. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.